Welcome to the Texas Tracks and Taps podcast. My name is Graham.
I'm Coy.
And I'm John.
And we're here to tell you about the new podcast that we're launching. It was an idea that I had, crazy idea, because none of us have ever done anything like this before, but had the idea to start a podcast with my friends to talk about music because we love music and it's an integral part of all of our lives. And particularly, we've all been pretty impacted by the local music where we grew up and where we live now. So we wanted to put a focus on that. So particularly Texas music is going to be the focus primarily, but we will talk about stuff outside of Texas as well. So one thing we're going to do is we're going to talk to a lot of local musicians in our area and give them the floor to promote their own work and talk about just the state of the local music scene in DFW right now. I've been not real connected to it as much so as I was in the past, and I regret that. And I'm excited about doing this podcast and that kind of giving a gateway to get more connected to the local scene. I do know a number of people who are local musicians and play in local bands or solo projects, and I just want to get their thoughts and opinions on what's going on locally. So I'm really excited. I'm really glad to have John and Coy aboard because their musical opinions I have great respect for. Coy and I have known each other a long time and we have a lot of similar tastes, but Coy also likes a lot of different stuff that I'm not into, so he can give kind of different perspective on that. And then John, I haven't known as long, but since I've met him, I've always felt that he does definitely have that passion for music. He's a big vinyl head, and that's a big part of his life. But he also, is not from this area originally. So there's some different things that he brings to the table as well. But now I'm going to let Coy talk a little bit about another aspect of the show and another thing that we're going to integrate into our podcast.
Absolutely. That was one of the things when Graham asked me to join. He's taking a sip. I said, whenever we sit around and talk music, there's typically within reach one of these guys. So yeah, so let's just have some relaxation while we're talking, maybe some inspiration. It always seems to make me sound funnier to myself, at least. But then we got to expounding upon that, and beer, music go hand in hand for us. A lot of people, I think, can relate to that. We're fans of craft beer and local breweries. We thought if we could use a little corner of the show to also feature some local brews as well, we can do both of those things. And yeah, that's going to be a part of it. We're going to enjoy responsibly, and if you want to as well while you're listening, I know hopefully it'll make it more enjoyable for you as it is for us. But yeah, so cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks, Coy and Graham. When Graham came up with this crazy little idea to start a podcast, we bounced around a lot of different ideas, and just piggybacking on what Graham and Coy just shared. I'm not from Texas originally. I lived in the state for 7 years, and I've bounced around the country from Georgia to Florida to Washington State and now down to Texas. And everywhere I've lived, because I've always had a passion for music, I've always enjoyed music since I was a little kid. I tried to learn about the local scene and about local music. And moving to Texas, this is one of the largest states in the country. And so the music scenes just within the DFW area, or the music scene within Houston or Austin, are large in and of themselves. There's really a lot to tackle for a newbie like me to learn the different music scenes that are all around the state. And that's not to mention all the little towns in between. I'm really looking forward to learning from both Graham and Coy about a lot of the history of local music. There's a lot of Texas bands that I haven't been exposed to because I was living in other parts of the country, but I'm really looking forward to it. And of course, I haven't liked beer as long as I've liked music, but there's a lot of beer around the state to explore and to understand and taste. So I'm really looking forward to that. And the really great thing about music and beer is that it's usually enjoyed amongst friends. And I consider Coy and Graham good friends, and hope that those of you that watch us or listen to us also become friends and we can learn from each other. So thanks. Back to you, Graham.
Yeah. So we just hope that you guys will give us a chance. We're learning and it's going to be a little rough, probably going in the beginning, but hopefully we can bring some subjects and some artists and some breweries and different things to light that maybe you weren't aware of and help you discover some things in your own backyard that you might be missing out on. But we want this to be an interactive experience too. If y'all have things that y'all know about that we don't know about or not talking about and should be talking about, please let us know. Because we can never exhaust all the great things that there are here in the DFW as far as music goes and beer. Excited to get going, and we're going to be hosting this episode 0 soon, as well as episode 1. So I hope you guys will stay tuned and do all the things, hit the bell, like, subscribe, all those things if you're interested in keeping track of what we're doing. So thanks a lot, and we'll see you again soon.
Cheers.
Cheers.